Y'all, my name is Jessica, and today we're going to be doing. Who give a fuck about the people who are dying right now? There's someone dying. Did her and her man break up? Like, people be bitch, I felt peace. It sucks to say, but right? That's how the world is, and the world kept spinning, like, literally. But let's do this thing. Do this thing. Hi, what's up, y'all? Hey. So, it's been a minute. I mean, you saw my last video. It was literally a fucking crash out to the max. I kind of got myself a little bit. Because I was like, you know what? We gotta look presentable for this podcast. Just a little bit. And also, I've just been feeling like absolute shit.
Disgusting shit.
So, you know, I have to like give a little something. Also, I am wearing a shirt. It's just kind of low for your information. Also, my hair has been so bad. I think I'm going bald. I think I'm literally like, I don't know, y'all. It's a wrap. Like, let me show y'all. Like, on this side,
what does it look like? My hair's just bad, bro. It looks all fucking greasy. Like, but I literally took a shower yesterday and the shit fucking looks greasy.
I'm thin, and like, anywho, I'm thinning like literally right here, all from the stress. From what stress you're asking? I don't fucking know. I'm just always fucking stressed. I mean, have you seen the political and economic state of the world? Yeah, there's like, ooh, I'm in danger. Like, yeah. First things first. I hope y'all have been well. But I've been off of Instagram for like, I want to say like 2 weeks. I want to say a month, but it's literally only been like 2 weeks. Like, come on, girl. Ciao. Anyway, so. But from my experience from that, it's been nice. Y'all, it really be that damn phone. Because I took an Instagram break last month for like a week, I want to say. Almost 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks? Oh, okay. So like I was saying, I was off of Instagram for like 2 weeks, and bitch, I felt peace. It really be that damn phone, and I want to eventually be off like all social medias. And bro, speaking of social medias, it's been going crazy with you know what, the Charlie Kirk incident, and then the fucking David, the musical artist incident. Like, there's just been too much going on in can we talk about the political and economic state of the world? Like, bitch, it's been crazy. And yeah, thank God I was off Instagram for 2 weeks, because bro, there was so much bullshit going on. So much bullshit. There still is. There always is every week. That's just how life is. That's how the world is. And the world kept spinning, like, literally. But bro, it's not that I wouldn't have been able to handle. And I'm not one of those people, like, because some people be like, I was off Instagram for like a mental health break. Like, I don't want to say even necessarily that. I mean, yeah, well yes, but also it wasn't necessarily for that. Like, I just felt like, damn, I'm fucking tired of Instagram. Like, I'm more addicted to Instagram than I am TikTok. That's what I realized from not having Instagram, was that, like, girl, you would always open that app, and for what? To look at other people's lives that, like, you don't even, like, it's not that you don't give a fuck, but it's like, that has nothing to do with you. And that's like social media in like a whole. Like, none of this shit has to do with our personal lives. Like, you're not gonna hang out with these people like one-on-one, or like, I don't know, be involved in their life in like a significant way. I mean, some of them you will be. Sometimes you will build that, and I think that's a lot of the time like what I was trying to do since my whole life, since the beginning of time, since I was like younger. Like, that's been one of my, I don't know, main quirks.
I'm Izuku Midoriya.
No, I don't know, something that had to do with like the people pleasing. I hate people pleasing. I hate people who do that. But bitch, and I still bite my tongue on saying that I was and I am a people pleaser. But in some sense, I am, in the sense that like I don't want everyone to like me. Maybe a little bit. It wouldn't hurt. But in the sense where like I want to be everyone's friend, but not everyone wants to be my friend. And I know a lot about other people, but they don't know a lot about me. I think I said that in the previous episode. Like I be low-key a little stalkerish with it sometimes. I'm sorry. Like I know stuff about other people that they don't know about. Like they don't know shit about me. They see my face. I may look like a familiar face, but they don't know me like intimately like that. You know what I'm saying? But I know them. Like if I were their friend, like it's giving parasocial. And that's how I would be with regular people in like Bakersfield City, Bakersfield Live. Like they went to Ridgeview, or they went to fucking I met them at the bar or something like that. I'd be invested. Your little life, oh girl. That's why social media is scary. Everybody needs to get off line at some point, because a lot of people, they don't want to admit it, but like we're forming parasocial relationships with people in our everyday life, like random people. And I know that's like, bitch, you're fucking reaching, but like in some sense we are, because like it's like, what, you're gaining this follower for what? Like, and you guys aren't even gonna talk like that. I mean, maybe eventually you will. And that's why I also too, I got Instagram. Well, I feel like for me it's different, because I know the type of person I am, but we don't know the type of people. Like, I'm not trying to come for everybody. You're a bitch. You're a bitch. Nah, I don't fucking know. But like, these people, like, the Charlie Kirk shit really like showed everyone's stance on some shit, like the political stuff. But I mean, like everyday shit. Like we don't know what these people's actual beliefs, morals, all this type of shit. That really showed it, because people were being fucking dumb on the fucking internet. Like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? And even with this David situation, like any situation from any celebrity or even real life people, like your hometown fucking people getting canceled, is like, it really shows like, ooh, you be hanging with those type of people, or like whatever the fuck. Anywho, all this goes to show, like, it's giving parasocial. Like, you're chronically online, you're chronically involved in other people's life, and that's what I was giving. That's what I feel like a lot of people give that, and that's okay to admit. And you know, sometimes it's not a bad thing, because bitch, you're being informed. People are an informant for you. Like, you're getting this information, and like, especially if they're weirdos. That's why I don't have a problem with the girls. Wait, hold on, let me read this right, because I didn't know that I did know that there was an app for men that's called also the T app, for them to be talking about girls, but I didn't know it was like that popular as much as the one that girls used to talk about men. And here, the one that girls used to talk about men, I think it's more valid than the men's, because what's it called? The men just be like, this bitch can't give head. Like, shut your bitch ass up. Like, ain't nobody give a fuck. Like, how is that significant to me, bro? If I was a man, I'd be like, okay, maybe your dick's up. Maybe your shit ain't thingin'. Like, boy, you don't know why she ain't give good head. Like, shut your bitch ass up. They always be over some bullshit like that, like some like sexual, physical, like they're the shit that is like appearance wise or sexual wise. Like, boy, what about her qualities? Was she a shit human? Was she doing some weird shit on the low? Like, was she a cheater? That shit, that's like, that's what the girls are using for the men. They're like, oh, this motherfucker is actually, he was a fucking groomer. He has a baby mom. Not saying that you having a baby mama or a baby daddy is bad, but you know, there's a lot of shit that encompasses that, and a lot of women are using their app, the T app for women, to inform about safety, and men, it's just about head game week. Like, shut your bitch ass up. Anywho, this is all going back to that I was offline because, bro, I was like, the parasocialness, like, it's not that these people ain't your friends, and you shouldn't share everything online. Like, bro, I'm starting to see that. But, at the same time, it's like, bro, everybody needs to get a life. I need to get a life. I'm just like, not that I don't, but like, I don't know. And I just feel like, I don't need all the friends in the world, and like that I'm not even gonna talk to like that. But I mean, I welcome new friendships, new connections, new yapping, like even if it's just a little hello. Like, I love when people send me memes, or like, this reminds me of you. Like, I love that shit, because like, we may not be like fucking buddy, but like, we see each other, we see each other. We have that little connection. We're a little quirky. We're a little fun. We like to be like, oh, you like queso? Hey, shout out to Mia. I send you this video. Like, people will do that for me, and I love that. I just, I don't know. Am I doing too much? Maybe. But like, we're not close. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll get wrapped up in like let's just use Mia for example. I'm so sorry. I have 2 Mia friends, so idiot. But like, if I knew stuff about her life, like, I would be like invested. Like those people that are like literally like watching, like, hey, did her and her man break up? Like, they got given that that evil eye, or like, I don't know. It's not everything is a negative thing, but you're just everything that you put out on the internet, like they said, is gonna fucking stay there, and like people are gonna be invested in your life and you don't even know them like that, and that's okay. Like, for me, I feel like it's a good thing because everybody be sending me memes and stuff, and they're like, "This you?" And I'm like, "Yes, well, yes." But I know on the other hand, for me, when I be looking at some people, I'm just like, you don't deserve this good thing in your life. Like, that's fucking, bitch, you're fucking preying on people's downfall. You're evil. I just don't feel like and that's a personal thing, but, like, I'm not saying all of them, but I feel like a lot of people could relate, you get into that hater-ass mindset, or even you could get into that positive-ass mindset, and I don't know, it's taking the focus off of, I mean, you're doing the bad, like, you're thinking negatively or positively, like, that's a you thing, but also you're putting that onto people. Like, I don't know, it's a mix, and it's just like, got some randoms following me or some shit, like, get the fuck off my feed, like, what the fuck, like, no, I don't care, like, you can follow me, but bitch, remove me as well, like, the fuck, I hate bitches like that, like, bitch, the fuck, anywho, but I just feel like, I don't know, I was just dealing with a lot too in terms of like friendships, and we can get into that. I just felt like it was a lot going on mentally because I'm just in a transitional period in my life, which a lot of you can relate to, I would hope. I'm not the only motherfucker out here fucking. I said in the last one, I feel like a bum. I'm not that y'all are bums, but what's it called? I just feel like a lot of people are lacking motivation right now. A lot of people are jobless. Me. I don't know, not knowing their purpose. Your 20s really be like figuring it out, and that's okay. It's okay. But it's just fucking hard because you're like, and then when you look at other people's life and you're like, oh, they got to fucking do this. They got to already fucking buy a house. They're moving abroad, traveling abroad, or whatever the fuck, doing all these experiences or having these opportunities, jobs, college, I don't know, every like social and non-social aspect. It's like, bro, you can't help but to like compare. I feel like that was my main thing, and that's what they say, like, you fucking compare yourself on motherfucking every fucking social media and shit like that. You be consuming that shit, and I never really was the one to like be hella like comparing, but recently I have, because I'm
just like, I didn't win, like the last video, I didn't win the lottery in terms of money, and sometimes I just feel like I didn't win the lottery in life, and I was low-key fucking hella being a hater. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm trying to fucking figure it out in terms of my life, and like emotional wise too, because I just feel like my emotions have been everywhere, but I was being a little hater on my fucking parents, because like, there must be more than this provincial life, like, sometimes I'm just like, but you could have done more. You could have not had me as well, and like all this fucking burden, like baggage and shit that I feel that is negative wouldn't be here, because I would not exist. Like, I don't know, that's very dark to say, but I was just like,
yeah. And then it doesn't help too that I said it in my last video, I've been taking an ethics of living and dying, and it's really been helping me in some sense, and also like, oh, I'd be tweaking sometimes too, because we're talking about the Epicurean and existential, the differences. Where are my fucking notes? I need to start bringing my notes up into this podcast, because we need a freaking source and site, like Epicurean and existential theories. Before we get into the existential and Epicurean, my yap about it, like from the past, this is the present, editing Jess, and I'm just gonna like talk about like a conversation I had with my friend Caesar, because he's taken ethics of living and dying, and I think he better explained it than I ever will in my yap, but because I don't know, I'm still fresh on like learning this, so yeah, just to like tell you a little bit more, and like I think he explained it better, and I think it comes off better like through a conversation that we had, like what I was trying to relay this whole video about existential and Epicurean in the different point of view. So, from what he said is, he relates to existentialism more, which I was surprised, and that he says, people misunderstand existentialism, or when they hear that, that kind of philosophy, it kind of gives like, it kind of gives off a negative connotation. He says they instantly just think, oh, existentialism, life has no inherent meaning, but that's not the case. That's just a generalization of it. And life, like, yeah, life brings no inherent meaning or value in some sense, I guess, but it's what you do with your suffering that makes life worth pushing through. Bro, I can't English. Anyhow, it's who and what you surround yourself with that makes suffering much easier to get through. Like, for example, we may fucking hate Bakersfield. The shit is actual buns out here. But the suffering caused by the city of Bakersfield is reduced because of the people that I've met that made this place to feel like home. So, like, that's, like, a better example. The important things are never far off, but all around you instead. Like, he gave some good examples. I was like, okay, you a smart fella, not a fart fella, sir. And he said absurdism and existentialism are, like, very commonly associated. I don't know a lot about absurdism, so don't come for him. If you know more, then just politely correct, or, like, you know, me as well. But I do want to learn more about that, and we'll probably learn more about that in my class, but they're, like, intertwined, and, like, they have their own differences. And then what's it called? I don't know. I went to him for, like, a little better answer and better example, because I felt like I might misinterpret in this video, and that's why I just want to clear it up before you get into the nit and juicy gritty, because I'm probably going to be, like, I don't know, yapping around and going in a roundabout circle or getting some things wrong. So I feel like this little convo got a little bit better. Because I said, I think I'm gonna write it in the Epicurean because, like, here, I'll just read, like, the text word for word. Not gonna lie, this is the real raw end of my life, bruh. But I said, I think I'm gonna write it on the Epicurean way, but I don't know, because the thought of death is like, yeah, that's gonna happen, or it already has happened, and it doesn't matter, but if you face it, then you move on. Like, Epicurean wants you to think about death and face it, to come to terms with it. Like, some things are in our control and not in our control, which that's also a quote from, like, the Epicurean article that I read. I think it is a quote, or it's something along that lines, basically. But at the same time, there is some measure of control. Also, like, even if we live our life right now doing mundane or cool things, like just going about our day to day, those are the mortal things, and, like, those are the things I put to be fulfilled, so when we die, we face it head on, is what I kind of got from Epicurean, because Epicurean is talking about, like, the pleasure, and, like, those pleasures are, like, things that you get in life, like eating your favorite food, different things like that. And in order to, like, be living your life fulfilled, you're gonna do all, like, the things in between before you're faced with death. But you also have to face death. Like, you can be doing those things, but realize, this isn't a movement of death, is what I think I'm getting at. It's like, you know, like, this is all in the process that leads to our inevitable end. And then I was talking about, like, I don't know how to relate it to, like, the death anxiety essay that I have to write, because it's gonna be probably on my dad, because I'm like, because my professor shared a story that her dad almost died, like, a while back, and that, like, he was literally about to die, just as well as my dad was. Like, we were, well, she was more sure of it than we were, but anywho, like, it just seemed like, so, like, the death was gonna be so, like, is it gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? And she uses him as an example a lot. And one time, a student asked her, like, hey, have you ever told him, like, that you talk about his death like this, like, often? And she was like, no, I never do, like, because we're close, like, it doesn't really, like, you know, cross her mind to, like, bring it up that she talks about him a lot and, like, uses him as an example in her class. And she was like, you probably should tell him, because, like, then when he does die, like, he already had a close call, low-key, when he does die, like, he's not gonna know, like, he made that impact, like, on your life, you know what I'm saying? And she eventually did tell her dad, and then, like, how, like, if he dies, because he's gonna die, it's also gonna be, like, different and impact her different, and, like, the way she speaks, like, she's not gonna be able to talk about his death in the class. I mean, eventually she will, but, you know, it's gonna be different. But anyhow, Mine death anxiety mainly is from what I pinpointed was that, like, I don't want to, like, feel or see that again from, like, my dad. And, like, I don't like the panic or, like, the rush to have, like, someone's life on my hand, or, like, if I'm 1 minute slower that they would die. Because hers was, like, is she gonna get there on time to, like, say her goodbye and, like, you know, see him one last time, you know, like, talk to him one last time. For me, it was more, my death anxiety is more like what I just said, like, someone's life is in my hand, like, oh, like. And so I said, I guess my death anxiety is the responsibility for one's death and also the guilt, but I know it's possible, I know that it's possible I know he's gonna die in the future, but, like, and he could face the same thing again, but I just don't want to have those reoccurring feelings of, like, that, like, on my conscious, like, you know, those feelings that were associated with, like, the death or the almost death, and to feel this again. So I was really, he told me, he was like, you're second guessing yourself, and I'm like, oh, well, yes, because, yeah, but, because I know I'm rational about it in an Epicurean way, and I can dismiss those feelings because I've already experienced them and will experience them in the same way, and then inevitably he's gonna die. But he told me, to me, I think certainty is the wrong standard to have in life as a philosopher. It's something his professor taught him, because we have different professors. He has a man, I think it's Robert, let me find it, Robert something, hello, or is it Robert Kelly? And I have Anna Collins, which, if they ever see this, hey, your students are actually learning and having a discussion, and we're using it in real time. I think it's really cool. It shows that teachers really do make a big impact. And, bro, they need to get paid more. Anyhow, besides the point. And then he says, like, yes, there is some control of death, but at the end of the day, we won't know until it happens. It's best to just accept things altogether and realize nothing in our lifetime is certain, and that's where I lean into existentialism. That's him. You know, he leans to existentialism. And then he was like, you said you don't know how to relate it to your own death anxiety, but I did. And I was like, ah! But, yeah. So I was just second guessing myself, but I hope, like, that clears the air for, like, me later yapping in the video about it. And, like, this video alone is adding 10 minutes, which I'm not gonna edit it because I just feel like this is, like, the raw, the nitty-gritty, and I feel like it helps clear up more what I talk about later. So, anyhow, hope you enjoyed this from Editing Jess. Basically, Epicureans believe, like, you think about death, and, like, if you don't want to acknowledge death, just think about it. You have to think about it. Death is an inevitable thing. Everyone's going to go through that. And that's also why I was taking a minute to not also make a motherfucking podcast, because I was about to go off about the Charlie Kirk shit, because it's like, because it's funny, because everyone's saying that, oh my god, he died. Like, nobody should have died that way. And nobody should have, what's it called? Have to go through that. Like, he was a father. He was this. He was that. Blah, blah, blah. Like, people die. Everyone knows that, right? Everyone dies. And you can't really choose how you die. There's things to prevent, like, not necessarily death, but prevent, like, fucking tragic deaths, or, like, gory deaths, or just, like, dumbass deaths.
Dumb ways to die.
Like, but at the end of the day, everyone dies. We're all going through that same door. No matter what your belief is, no matter what you don't believe, like, it doesn't matter, because we're all, guess what, going through that door, and we're gonna die. We're gonna fucking die. And so, in some sense, some people believe, like, nihilism, where it's like,
nothing really matters, anyone can say.
But at the same time, what's it called? The Epicurus, the motherfucking Epicurean view is just, like, the people that are trying to avoid death, in the sense that, like, they don't want to think about it. It's like, no, but you have to come to terms with it. You have to be like, yeah, death is here, it's gonna happen, and that's that. Like, it's just, it's a fact. I'm not explaining everything perfectly, because I ain't no freaking professor, but this is just what I've been, like, learning so far, that has been, like, really freaking interesting, and I thought I would share with the class. I thought I would share. You guys get a free lesson, you know what I'm saying? And then the existentialists think, like, no, you have to dwell in that feeling of the death anxiety, because it's mainly, like, this class is about death anxiety, and a paper that I'm gonna have to do, an essay, is about the death anxiety and which view I relate to, the Epicurean, where it's like, yeah, well, everyone dies. It don't, like, it's gonna happen. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it's just a fact. It's gonna happen. Whereas the existential are like, yeah, you're gonna die, but like those feelings that you're feeling that you relate to the death is like, why is it? Why? And there's different like topics that we do, like death is not bad for the living. What's your thought on that? Death is annihilation, because you're gone. All the knowledge and history is gone. You're decomposing. Like, that's the Epicurean thing. Death does not affect the living, and different things like that. The Epicurean and the Epicurus are more rational about death. Like, yeah, everyone's gonna die. And while the existential, there is no universal claim. It's just the feelings about death, and like you work through it. Like, you work through those feelings and through that anxiety of death, and like, yeah, and you have like that awareness and that conscious thing, but you're like feeling through it, and like you use those feelings of death and anxiety to propel yourself forward and to grow. And that's like similar as well to Epicurean, but it's just like you're being rational about it. You're not gonna let those feelings get in the way of how you do your everyday life. You just know, you're always gonna know in the back of your mind and know for a fact that in the end that you're gonna die, but you're not gonna let that necessarily propel you or put you in a disadvantage because like the death is wrapped up in your mind. I don't know if I'm explaining this perfectly, but those who are in philosophy, especially ethics of living and dying, let me know. But existential is like you're feeling those things, the death anxiety, those feelings are useful. To be human is to know we will all die. Like, I feel like that goes for both the Epicurean and the existential view, and that, yeah, basically the death anxiety that you face as in like an existential view is gonna propel you. I feel like a lot of people are Epicurean because it's just like, yeah, it's just a fact. Like, I was watching a queso stream literally earlier today, and he was literally like, yeah, we all gonna die, like it's just a matter of fact. Like, and also that's what my professor was saying, like your grandma could die right now, and you could be, and then someone would be like, well, like everyone fucking dies. Like, it doesn't exclude yeah, everyone's gonna die, you just seem like a fucking asshole. But like for the existentials, they're like, okay, but like why like they're like dwelling in that feeling of like the death. Anyhow, I can't explain it the best, but if you look into it, it's just really fucking cool. And like that the existentials, like, yeah, you have like all these, also you don't want to regret, and you have with the particular choices that you made in life, whereas like you're already going through it with Epicurean, like you're already just chilling, like you already know it's already in motion, and it's just like the inevitable death. Both of them, it's the inevitable death, but one is like processing feelings, and one is just being like, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, anywho, I thought that was something interesting, and why did I even get to this ramble? I don't know. I just felt like I have been needing to talk about that. Not in the best way, because you're not even a professor, but and I have like the freaking, if you guys want to know more too, you could read this article about like, it was doing, hold on, let me show y'all, from the author Vincent Berry. It's Human Nature as Union of Opposites. There's like several articles, and I wrote different things. This is like, it's like a 5-page like article with different little subsections in it. And then there's also the letter to Menosis Epicurus. This is like the main one of the Epicurean view. This is more of like the existential view, but it's still really cool.
Oh, this is the first day that of living, the ethics of living and dying. These were the questions.
Is your death bad for you? I put no, because I don't know, I feel like it's maybe a little bit different. I never really asked the professor, but I'm kind of curious, because for me, like, a lot of people were like, nah, it's not bad, because it could, like, it's gonna happen to everyone, like, it is what it is. And also, if you believe in an afterlife too, it's gonna happen after death, and obviously, like, it's not the end, like, it's not bad for you, because you might be going to heaven, like, you might be having, death isn't the end, you're going to, like, a happier place, you know, so death isn't necessarily bad for you. And I put no for me, personally, because I just feel like, I feel like I have I think I'm gonna write in the point of view of the Epicurean, and also like an nihilistic view, because it's just like, it is what it is. Like, it's just like, it's not bad. I mean, it's bad for others, obviously, like, especially if you have people who depend on you and different things like that, but it's not bad, because it's part of life, it's part of nature, it is what it is. And other people were saying that as well. And as someone who has dealt with severe depression and suicide ideation, it's just kind of like, I would rather it come sooner than later, to be honest. And it's just, do I want to be like fucking, like people were saying too, like if you're in like a fucking coma and you're basically like in pain and shit, like do you want to die, go out that way? Not necessarily. No, I don't want to pull the plug, bro. But that is what it is. Other question is immortality good for you? And I put yes, because you can do a lot with time. A lot of people actually argue that immortality is not good for you because, like, oh, then you're gonna miss all your friends and like your animals and like they're gonna pass. And that the thing is that my professor was saying like, oh, that's already how it is, as those things like your friends, your family, and animals are gonna pass right now. Like that's already gonna happen. They're gonna die no matter what. They're going to die unless they're immortal, but they're not in this case. So why would immortality be not good for you? And they would say like, I just don't want to like be in that world where they're not there, or I just don't want to be like, I just don't feel any purpose, or like it doesn't interest them basically. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Me personally, I would love to be immortal. I always think about it. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be sad as fuck, all the people around me currently fucking dead and gone, and like everything that eventually I remember is gonna eventually fade out as well. Like you can be immortal but eventually fucking forget everything, especially like if you live fucking forever till the cosmos fucking bursts, the earth bursts. But at the same time, I said, although you might lose your humanity in process, that's another thing that people are arguing, like, it's a bad thing because, like, bro, you're gonna lose your humanity, you're gonna, like, eventually, like, kind of become, like, numb to it or desensitized, like, because you're immortal and, like, yeah, people are fucking dying around you, but, hey, another 100 years, more people are gonna be dying around you, and it's, like, you're gonna be making those connections, but it might become, like, meaningless, or you might also be lonely. For me, I just feel like, girl, I could do a lot with time. Like, I would love to keep on making connection after connection and, like, things like that. And also, like, the knowledge, like, the amount of things, like, and especially if, for you, like, if you're the placeholder and you're immortal, you could be passing down all this fucking knowledge and shit. Like, you're the fucking 100-year turtle, basically.
Noodles. Don't noodles.
Them fucking turtles are basically immortal. But, yeah. And then another question is, does the inevitability of death make it better or worse? But I put better because it's like, I mean, it's already gonna happen. Like, it's literally inevitable. Like, it's bad for like the people who are affected by it. Like, it's worse, but it's better for me because it's like, it's already done. It's already like, it's better because then eventually people are gonna move on, like the folk. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting question. And if you guys want to create your own response to these questions, let me know, because I think it's a really interesting class and y'all should take it at BC or wherever you can. Anna Collins, shout out to you, professor, because she's really an amazing professor. She needs to be on TED Talk. She needs to be hosting her own little freaking like conference, because it's really good. And I don't even talk in that class because I feel like in that class, like I be taking a lot of notes, stuff I'm saying exactly like the best way, like reiterating these same theories and like topics the best, but I be yapping about it more right now than I ever do in that class, because I'd be like, I never feel like I can respond because I just feel like kind of dumb about it. Like I can't really process and like articulate what I want to say when these questions are brought up. Like I feel like I can't articulate now where we are in the class, like the best response. So I feel kind of like dumb. But these other girls, shout out to them. Miss she looks like alternative with the micro bangs, period, girl. And then the girl that sits in the front, if you guys see this, really good students. Anyhow, does the universality of death make it better or worse? Because, like it being equal in the sense of everyone gets death. If so, it's better. Because, like, yeah, it's equal in the sense that we're all gonna die. It's not equal in the sense of how we're gonna die, but it's equal of like everyone's finna die. Like that's no one's cheating death. Not unless you got some superpowers or something like that we don't know about the government. There's all these conspiracies about immortality and different things, but at the end of the day, no one's cheating death. Like from what we know. So yeah, I feel like it's equal. So it's chilling. It's better. Next question, does the unpredictability of death make it better or worse? I don't know why I put accountability, sincere humility, but I don't know what that has to do with it, if you can explain that. But does the unpredictability of death make it better or worse? I think that, like, follows up with the universality. Like, how you die is like, bro, if I fucking, like, Donnie Darko style right now, then, like, yeah, that fucking sucks. But hey, if it's quick and easy, that would be my ideal. Like, even if it's like I fall off a fucking, like, roller coaster, if it's quick and easy, at least, if I'm not in, like, fucking pain. But if it's like, I want to say, if that's a cool ass death, you know, that's how I think of it. I'm like, I would love to die in a cool way, but, like, quick and easy where I don't, like, feel it hella, you know. How am I supposed to know? I can't tell you what I felt after I'm dead, bro, but you know what I mean. And I think the unpredictability makes it better because, bro, we're all on a roulette of, like, random shit on how we're gonna die. One from old age, one from the fucking roller coaster, one from Donnie Darko, like, we don't know. One from an earthquake, like, you don't know. So I feel like that makes it better because everyone's kind of even in some sense. Like, I mean, yeah, there are one and the same deaths, like car crashes and things like that, but how the specificality of it is, like, not always gonna be the same. So that's why I say the unpredictability is better. And this is a big world for Elmo. Big word. I can't even English. Does the ambiguity, ubiguity, I want to say ambiguity. Ambiguity. I think it's pronounced ambiguity. The one parentheses always present parentheses over it of death make it better or worse. Ambiguity. I don't know. That's a big word for him. Let's look up that word because under it I put door analogy, which I told you already. Classroom, but one door death. And then I don't know, below it, there's this one, she recommended this, there's this TED Talk, which you could probably find it, but from this famous, what's his name? Dr. Pagan. It's a death, course, YouTuber, I don't know, what's it called? TED Talk? I don't know, Adipus or Reconsis. I don't know what the fuck. I have, like, random notes on the side that I'm spitballing at you and maybe you know more than me. But below it I put, that one guy that said on YouTube, we kind of push it off, procrastinate, not truly neutral, there is a negative connotation. I'm speaking in riddles at this point. Death makes us human. And I feel like that's, a lot of people can say that. And then, this was on the back, it's just talking about, like, how I can, do my essay, like, who do I feel the death anxiety towards, how do I feel it? How does it manifest in my life? Like fear, regret, uncertainty. How does that present a problem worth solving? And how do I go about it, like in an Epicurean way or an existential way? Do I feel through it? Or do I just be like, hey, you know, that shit happened, that trauma happened, but it is what it is. That motherfucker gonna die anyway. If you can't tell them currently and they pass, then they die, you might be presented with, like, regret or something. And then I said, right in the perspective, how would you comfort someone else? That's what she was kind of saying, how we were supposed to do it in the essay. I don't know, bro. I'm like fucking tweaking on this essay. So I've just been talking about fucking this specific topic in this class. We got other topics to talk about in my notes app, but I just thought it was something, a food for thought for the viewers. I know it's a little darker subject in some sense. I'm not necessarily, I'm just yapping about death, and a lot of people don't want to face that, which I think is kind of funny because, not funny, I always think about death. Since I gained consciousness, I was thinking about death, like, since I grasped that knowledge. Bro, I can't English!
Ubiquity.
Oh my lord. The fact of appearing everywhere or being very common.
Ubiquity.
Does the ubiquity, parentheses, always present, of death make it better or worse? Like the commonality, I would think. Like the fact of the definition, the fact of appearing everywhere or being very common. So I'm getting, like, the state of being present or found everywhere in many places. Does, like, what I'm getting is, like, it being everywhere synonymous, just fucking throwing out big words, me and you both don't understand. That's a big word for Elmo, like, literally. Make it better or worse of death, like it being common to everyone. I feel like that's the same as the other ones.
Like it just makes it better. Like, it's just a common thing. Like, I mean, yeah, would it be nice if everyone could be immortal? Like, of course, but like, it's not. That's just not the reality. That's why I go back to the Epicurean, because like, let's be rational.
We could think, bro, life, if more people were rational, if more people had an Epicurean thought, then we wouldn't be in the state of the world that we are in. The common sense. But I think that's all I have to say about that. But death for me, like who I'm going to write my I was thinking of one person and one animal that I was thinking about writing about for the death, particularly. A couple years back, I want to say, I don't know the exact days. I might get dementia when I'm older, which is kind of sad to say because my abuelita has dementia currently, and a lot of people around me have abuelitas with dementia, so this is kind of like, you shouldn't be fucking putting that into existence. But they say that, dementia and Alzheimer's, trauma that you never, like, reflected on, so like you're just literally you never we're dealing with the present, like those past traumas and working through it, so you just kind of put that shit in the back of your mind, and so that shit fucked up your fucking brain, and eventually it led to you down the line getting dementia and fucking Alzheimer's. So that's fucking crazy. But going back to the death part, a couple years back, 2023, I want to believe, I don't know if it was 2023, but it was definitely 2022 where I was fucking dying because my cat it was 2023. It's from both those years, 22 and 23. Sorry. 2022, my cat Speedy, who I've had for like 18 years, died, and that fucking, I didn't think I was gonna live. I genuinely was like, alright, lights out after this one, you know? I always thought that since I was little, because like that's my boy, that's my son. And then the year following, both my dogs died, and then my cat Zuko went missing. So yeah, it was a hell of a year, 2 years back. What does that have to do with death? It was just death after death did not fucking help me in any way. It's like I couldn't grieve one animal, and then it was on to the next, and then it was on to the next, and then it was on to the missing. And when, I want to say, if you've ever had like a missing animal or a missing person in your life, that shit feels worse than death, because at least with death you can grieve. When they're missing, when an animal or person is missing, you always have that feeling like, are they dead? You don't know. Your feelings are everywhere, and that is the worst feeling. I feel like there's a lot of worse feelings, in like physically, in the sense of harm, and also mentally, but I feel like that's one of the worst feelings ever. Like, I would rather get fucking stabbed fucking 50 times than ever have to feel the pain of missing an animal or missing a person, in that sense. Like, they're just like, you don't know where they're at, there's no sign, you don't know if they're dead, you don't know if they're alive, you don't know if they're living a good life or a bad life or whatever the fuck is happening. It gets me a little choked up, because it's like, bro, you don't have the closure of knowing that they're dead, and you don't have the closure of knowing they're alive, and you don't have closure in general. And so what do? Do you grieve, or do you move on, or do you, like, where do you go from there? And that's why I also still keep up Zuko's posters up, because it's like, I don't know, how do you move on from it is like a main thing, because I just feel like in some sense I did grieve Zuko, because it's like, I don't know, like, I can't always, I mean, I do think about it every day, but like, you can't always live every day like, just like, not stuck on the past, but it feels like that in some sense when there's someone like missing or an animal missing. So I just feel like that is just such a big part of me that I can't necessarily talk about in the death essay, because he's not dead that I know of. But in the sense of the other deaths for my other animals, it's kind of like that shit was back to back, and that shit was just the feeling. It's not necessarily that I was afraid of them dying, because I knew they were gonna die. Like, that's where the Epicurean of me rationalizing, like, yeah, of course they're gonna die. That shit, the fucking feelings they suck either way. But like, I knew this was inevitable. But the death anxiety there would be like, bro, like, I don't want to see how they die again, and like, or I don't want to go out that way, and I don't want to experience that again. I feel like that's the main thing.
I don't really know if that like fits into like how she wants us to do an essay in some sense, because it's like, I don't know how that death anxiety, like, I can't really pinpoint a death anxiety for that. Like,
it's mainly like, bro, I don't want to go through that again. Like, but of course you're gonna go through that, because that's life. I don't know. Maybe y'all can help me with this motherfucking essay, because it's fucking eating at me. Because I'm like, hey, I'm more of an Epicurean, but I don't know. Sorry, I just keep on yapping about this, because it's just, for me, it's just such a deep, interesting topic. And then the other person that I was gonna make the death anxiety about is my father. He had a very, very close call literally in July when we went to Mexico. literally on death's door, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. And listen, me and my father don't have the best relationship, but doesn't mean I want that motherfucker to die. Like, what the fuck? Doesn't mean I want the death to come any sooner. Yes, it's going to inevitably happen, but do I want to feel that right now, currently in this moment? No. What the frick? That goes for anybody in my life and shit like that. But the death anxiety there was like, I think I can pinpoint that more because it's very recent, very real, and it's a person as well, so it's kind of different from an animal in some sense, unfortunately. Anxiety is also like similar of like, I don't want to it's not a me thing, it's a me thing. Like, I don't want it to make it a me thing of like their deaths or almost death, what's it called, but the feeling like I don't want to feel that shit again. I don't want to see that shit again. Like, that shit was fucking rough. I can't imagine how it is to almost be on death's door. Like, what the frick? And then also in the sense that like, also the other death anxiety is that like, when he was in this like limbo la la land and woke up, he didn't know anything that happened like in between. So it was like, but we saw the conscious things that he was doing and his body and his mind were doing, that it's like, you didn't remember doing that, like you weren't aware of any of the shit that was happening. That scares me, because where were you in that time period? Like, you don't have there's no memory of it. So where did you go? If you were to die, where would you go? That's where I'm like, is Jesus real? Is any of this real? Is anything matter? I don't know. I think that's where the death anxiety, and it's not necessarily that I'm afraid of the end, because like I said, we finna die either way. But it's like, what the fuck? Does anything matter? I feel like I just get into like I'm an Epicurean, like, yeah, it's finna happen, but and then I get to the nihilistic where I'm like, does anything matter? Like, what the fuck? This is going on a different ramble as well. With the Charlie Kirk shit, like with all this death and like his death, it's like people are like, oh, have some compassion, because it really affects some people. Have y'all seen that meme? Anyhow,
have some compassion, because it really affects people.
Or like, he was a father, he was this, he also said a lot of fucking bad shit. He also was not a good person. But he was inevitably going to fucking die. Everyone's gonna fucking die. And also, in the same sense, do you give a fuck about the people who are dying right now? There's someone dying literally every fucking second, minute, every fucking day, every other hour. Like, and do we care about them? Are we empathizing or sympathizing with them in this very moment? No. Also, a lot of people don't have either of those, and also, when something is not relevant to you, then why the fuck would you feel anything or care? Like, people are trying to ask for people to care about him specifically, or just like this could go for anyone's death, and it's like, but where do you draw that up from? Sorry, I'm burping. I'm so sorry. I had a cookie, a half-eaten cookie right here, and then I had a boba, very delicious. Now I have a water, and had chicken earlier, so that was nice. But where do you draw that, like, give a fuck? Like, it sucks to say, but nobody cares in some sense about death as well, because motherfucker, people are dying all the time. Martin Luther King fucking died in an assassination as well to Charlie Kirk, and so did fucking Kennedy, like all these motherfucking people, and like, now we move on. Or fucking 9/11, like, we never forget, but at the same time, like, if it didn't happen to us, how do we really, like, care, give a fuck, and, like, relate, empathize, and sympathize? You can say, people are like, words matter, and they do, but what's it called, like, if I just say right now, yeah, that's unfortunate. Like, also, like, your words and, like, your tone as well, like, it doesn't, like, sometimes it'll hold meaning and shit like that, but, like, for me, it's like, I said that right now, and do you necessarily believe me? No. Anyhow, it's just like, bro, when I saw that, I'm just like, I couldn't give a fuck that he died, or feel anything that he died. He died. Everyone dies. And that's also the other thing where it's with the existential that they don't want you to think about in that way is objective and subjective thinking. Where's the fucking, hold on, bring back the article, bring back the source. But in this existential article, okay, let me just fucking read some quotes. Objective thought is always externalized. This means that it is directed away from one's own existence towards something else. Like, you're not necessarily thinking about yours, you're thinking about everybody's. Like, my death doesn't matter because, well, everybody dies. And I kind of be thinking that way. But this is just like it's not necessarily what the existential people think, but like, it's just objective versus subjective thing. Anywho, subjective truth is personal. It's not truth for anyone, but truth for an individual. Subjective thought is internalized, of course. It's characterized by reflective inwardness. When we turn inward, according to Kirk, who's one of the authors of this article, or one of the people that they're talking about in this article, we are reminded that we are finite and temporal and must face the prospect of our own death. Like, yeah, for me, it's like, and I feel like for a lot of people, it's funny because it's like, you should feel this for this, but everyone fucking dies, and it's like, but what about your death? Like, why do you give a fuck about this person's death? Bitch, worry about your own fucking death. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyhow. An example of this is when we show no more concern for our own death than for the death of others. In doing so, we reduce death to something like a mathematical or scientific truth. Lots of people get cancer, he points out. I'm no different than anyone else. Everyone has to die of something. Yes, death certainly has this objective status, but it is profoundly personal. Be concerned about your own death. Don't deny it by objectivizing it. I'm a hypocrite, and maybe I just fucking disputed my own self, but anyhow, I just think a lot of this, definitely read this article with different, like, other subjects. I think the most interesting ones are, like, the dizziness of freedom, the shut-upness, and objective versus subjective thinking. Like, this whole part, like, bitch, I was fucking tweaking if you want to fucking read this for yourself.
I could send y'all the downloaded PDF as well, because
it's just very interesting of the ethics of living and dying, and the topic of dying and death and things like that. So that's been on my mind. Let's talk about celebrity crushes. I literally put grifter and what's the other one? Grifter, and there's the other word with the G. Groper? No, not groper. I don't know what the fuck. There's so much shit also tied in, like, for that, the whole Charlie career. Oh my god, this is a fucking headache, bro. He's dead. Everybody fucking died. I don't fucking know. Death is death, bro. It is what it is. And then I put something about Diana Ross. I was talking about haters, and different things like that I could yap about. But I guess in the end, you guys want to hear about my crushes? You guys want to, yeah? Motherfucker. Everyone's like, what the fuck is this bitch on? She come back from a fucking 2-week break and she's fucking yappaholic and yapping away. Fucking, she's off the deep end. She's off the loose end, which, well, yes. Bro, I'm so sorry. Currently, here's my little notes app if you want to see it. These are my celebrity crush. I was gonna talk about crushes and, like, my ideal man in this fucking video. I don't even know if I should fucking conclude it right here, because this just feels so off. Like, so let's talk about men now. Let's talk about this. So yeah, I think I will conclude this because I did kind of want to talk about friendships, celebrity crushes, and, like, my thoughts on men now currently also as well. And different, like, funny subjects that you saw right here, but, like, I can dive more into that I thought were funny. Yeah, I'll do it in the next one. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the podcast so far. It's almost at 50 minutes. And yeah, I think I was supposed to do some editing and put some memes in here, but I don't know if I will. So thank you guys so much for yapping and hearing me, and leave your comments down below. Leave your answers to those questions. I'll put them also in the description so you can kind of, like, see the format, and, like, I'll probably, like, not yap about it, but, like, summarize some of the questions that were asked, because there's multiple questions. And I'll also link the I don't know if I can link the PDF. I think I can, in the description below. Also, I'm back on Instagram, actually. I didn't really say that. Oh yeah, I'm back. I left for a little bit, but I'm back. I don't know for how long. Like I said, I feel like eventually I want to just get off Instagram and TikTok, because, bro, this is just, it's too much brainwash. It's too much parasocialness. It's just, like, too much give a fuckness, everyone. And especially for me, I feel like now I've been kind of chilling out because I had that fucking break. What the fuck is going on? But I think I'll download Instagram on my iPad because, bro, the only reason why I want to use Instagram is for like the messages. Like, if someone wants to reach out to me, but if someone really wants to reach out to me, like, they have my number. But at the same time, in order to promote my podcast, I kind of do gotta promote it on Instagram because that's mainly where people know me from. So you win some, you lose some. It's a little bit, you know. And I eventually too want to, like, I keep on saying like I'm gonna do these things, but it's also been like I said, I went through like a little mental like breakdown or some shit. Like, shut the bitch ass up. But I was just kind of pondering in my own little pondering world, you know what I'm saying? Like, really thinking about like stuff internally, like, yeah. But I do eventually. Hey, who wants to for the free skis? Cause I ain't got no money, I ain't got no job. Be my little editor, in the sense of like I just need edited fucking like clips of my reel, like of my Instagrams, and turn it on to reels or turn it on to YouTube shorts, which, bro, I'm gonna have to leave YouTube as well because of all the shit that's happening politically. Like, what the fuck? Why? If you don't want to hear about political shit, bitch, this I ain't the one. I don't know everything about political stuff, and like, who am I to talk, you know, because I don't know as much. But what I do know is I will always be on the right side. And bitch, I watched enough One Piece, bitch. I'm on like episode 922 or some shit like that to know that everything that's going on currently is a fucking shit show and we need to rebel. And yeah, but what YouTube is doing with all this fucking propaganda that is being fucking laid out everywhere, oh Lord have mercy, like, you know. So anywho, I hope you enjoyed the video. Follow the Instagram if you want, because that is where I'll try to be active again. The TikTok, I don't really post about my podcast on there, but I'm going to try. Like I said, I want to clip some of my yapping so I could get a little bit of a following over here. So I watch too much queso, it's embedded in me. And I missed the water park simulator episode, I think 15. I don't know what episode we're on. We're in like the 10s. Follow the socials. Everything's linked down below. So if you are curious, look at the description. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.